to be talking about a few, I think, very, very sensitive subjects, and it's going to be a really hard conversation. I already filmed this, and when I was editing it, I was, at the time of talking about this, I was so upset, and I was very, very emotional, and I also was putting on this face kind of at the same time. And it was too scatterbrained and not cohesive enough, and it wasn't conveying, I think, the message the way that I wanted to. And I really wanted to make sure that I was level-headed and clear when I was talking about this, because they are important subjects. I wanted to do it justice. Basically, I wanted to discuss the fact that I'm having a really, really shitty few days, and it's been really hard. Going to be making a video for today that you guys are seeing it. I knew that I wanted to do something that would not be disingenuine. You know, I wanted to be very genuine when I make content and everything, and I wasn't feeling it. I was not feeling happy, goofy. I wasn't in the mood to talk about makeup. I wasn't in the mood to talk about any of those things that I usually post about, and I don't want to fake it. Like, I don't want to fake what I'm putting out there onto the internet for anybody. That being said, when I talked about this before, it was too emotional. It was way, way too emotional. I was crying a lot, and it's not what I wanted to be showcasing, really, for the situation. And I don't know, I might cry again, but I feel like not. I feel like I was very, very frustrated in that moment, and now I'm much more level-headed. One of the first things that I want to talk about is mental health. Taking care of yourself. Everything I showed you at the beginning of this video is specifically geared towards self-care. You know, I understand that a lot of these things are completely normal for many, many people's morning routines, but for everything I did, I took a little bit longer. I took a little bit longer when stretching, when sitting outside, when cuddling with the dog, all of that, because I really needed a little extra me time, a little extra self-love time, and that mental health break. You know, I've been doing that kind of all day. I've been focusing completely on my mental health yesterday and today, and making choices to kind of disengage from situations that are, I would say, not very helpful for anybody's mental health, to be completely honest. So I want to discuss a situation that happened. It's very, very, very personal, but I do want to talk about the situation and how it affected me personally. Somebody extremely important to me basically just made a post on Facebook. They didn't make the post, they shared a post on Facebook, and that post was originally, the original person who made that post, whoever they are, you know, after I looked at their profile, after reading it and looking at them and being like, what the hell is this? Very, very openly, I would say, racist and aggressive Trump supporter. And if that's your prerogative, I guess, but I'd prefer not. And politics and all of this are a very difficult subject to have, but at the same time, like, how do you not have these conversations, especially with everything that's going on right now and today and all of that? So this person made this post, and it was very specifically created and geared towards creating a narrative, basically. A narrative of the good cop, bad cop, creating a storyline of illustrating good cops doing these amazing, selfless, whatever deeds, when realistically, it was a very false narrative. It was random crap like, what about the badge that pulls over and helps a injured dog on the side of the road and takes him to the vet? What about the badge that plays basketball with the kids in the court? And, I don't know, glorifying these like good cop narratives and like stupid shit like that. And there's a whole list of them. Some obviously like much more dramatic than others, and some very low key. But at the end of it, there was actually only 2 things on the list that were actually police officer jobs, like exclusively. And I would categorize them as the job of a police officer. That is 100% their job description, what they should be doing. The rest of it could have been any Joe Schmo on the side of the road, or whoever could have done any of these things, but it created this narrative. It was so bogus. Like, I feel like any reasonable person reading this would have been like, okay, like, what, this is like detrimental. Like, why are you sharing this? Why are you posting this? Why are you talking about this or whatever? And especially for people who are more naive or whatever, like the person that's very important to me that shared this post. When this happened, I got real upset. I was just like, this is so skewed and false and exaggerated and everything, and it's like, it was legitimately designed to do exactly what you would assume a racist Trump supporter would do. And I was just like, what the fuck? Like, why would you do this? So I called this person. You know, I made a few comments initially being like, this is garbage. And I called the person and we had a discussion about why it was upsetting for me, why it would be upsetting to many, many other people, how inaccurate it was. And I knew from my knowledge of this person, my very good knowledge of this person, that this wasn't them. This wasn't like how they think when we have these conversations or anything like that. I was just like, what is going on? This person was just like mortified, a little bit older, like definitely more naive, not tech savvy, like doesn't watch TV, doesn't like, watch the news, doesn't read like a newspaper and stuff, like lives their life in a small town, just like gardening. So with that, I really do consider this person to be one of the most kind-hearted, sweet, caring, non-hateful, or problematic people that I have the pleasure of knowing. However, when I read this, I was just like, this is somebody who just like doesn't really get it. That like they're talking and forming an opinion about something that they don't actually know anything about. So I was like, all right, just call them up, explain why it was problematic. I mean, sometimes you're really, really scared to have these conversations. If they're your friend, if they're your family. This is where like I was getting very, very emotional. So I had this conversation with this person. They were mortified. They immediately took the post down. They asked me for more resources. Can you send me some more articles? Can you send me videos? Can you send me some more stuff? I clearly didn't know what the hell I was talking about, and I'm so sorry. And I want to know what I'm talking about in these situations. I would never want to be spreading a false narrative, basically. These conversations should be happening all the time, and they're definitely like not. So when you are calling somebody out on something like this, you don't have to do it in a hateful way. You don't have to do it in an angry way. You explain the situation, provide them with all the information that they need in order to form an educated opinion, I would say. And if they still don't, that's a whole different issue. But, you know, admitted they're wrong and then immediately wanted to do better. Like, what else can you ask for from people who are either from like a different generation or whatever, and they're learning and they want to learn, and like all of these things. I think that was an ideal situation of how that should go. Just like stupid, you know, clicking on the internet, Facebook, share this, whatever, and it's a cute video and all this crap. Like just stuff like that. It was a heartwarming little story, but no, this heartwarming story was actually like harmful. This is like the difficult part here. And I think that this is going to be difficult for me to talk about because I really think that it's important that I specify that somebody in my family, a older relative, messaged me after. And, you know, they saw it up, whatever, they saw my comments on it or something like that. And then we initially started a conversation and a dialogue about the issue, and this adult male family member of mine had some very... You guys probably don't realize I took a mini break there, but I took a mini break there. I need to collect myself for a minute. So this adult male family member reached out to me, and I am very, very close with this person. Or at least I was through different points in life and stuff like that. I'm close with this person. Idolized this person at a younger age, and I think that's what's so hard about all of this. I would describe him as a very macho guy, very smart, very quick-witted, and also on occasion, I guess like a little bit, I don't know, just like alpha, like a little aggressive kind of thing. So initially I thought he was joking, and he was like, well, how are you, well, you're telling so-and-so that they can't have their own like opinion or whatever about it and blah, blah, blah. Like, isn't that just Nazism or whatever? And I mean, like, I'm from a German family, and I do not think that's a joke. I don't think anything about that is something to joke about, and I did not appreciate that in the slightest, and I couldn't believe that from his mouth that also came out. So that's not what happened. I saw a situation, and I knew that this person was misinformed or didn't understand the concept of what was being said, and I called them. I had a conversation with them on the phone. I gave them resources. I gave them a bunch of information and videos to watch, like tons of shit. And a conversation, and then I sent them a bunch of stuff afterwards too. So I was like, and then from there, they took in that information, formed a different opinion, felt really, really bad, removed the post. So no, I don't think that I'm out here mind controlling anybody, although like, sick. So whatever, it was very, very agreeable, which is confusing because all of a sudden, almost within the same breath, it was like, he was saying these very contradictory things at the exact same time. As the conversation progressed, he became more and more contradictory and more aggressive, looking to jump on something, like looking to fight almost. And I was just like, okay, keeping it calm, continuing with my input. And I got to this point where I was just kind of repeating myself over and over again, because it was like, no, dude, like, I don't really know what you're on about right now, but you just keep on repeating yourself and saying these things that aren't relevant. You're grasping at straws, you're just plucking information from wherever and you're tossing it in, and I'm like literally debunking you right now. Like, here's here's a statistic from here, a fact from here, article about this, whatever. And I'm just like, definitely not supporting your point. So why do you keep on just reiterating yourself? Like, you're just grasping at nothing here. What are you doing? I think I was being a lot more patient because a family member than I would have been with anybody else, and I tolerated it for a lot longer than I should have. And then it kind of reached this point where it was, again, just purely like aggression. And I've told you what I need to, and you're like officially affecting my mental health now, being harmful to not just to me, even though very much so to me, but your overall outlook here and this message that you're spreading, the way that you're talking about people, women, how you're talking to me as a woman, as your family member. I'm shocked, but also, do you think I'm just going to tolerate this because I am your family member? I'm just confused right now. So it got to this like no man's land kind of point where I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I'm tapping out of this conversation because it's upsetting me, it's frustrating me, it's not going anywhere, it's not constructive, it's no longer a conversation, it's a full-blown debate / just kind of yelling at somebody. You know, I did this yesterday and I stopped the communication, and then all of a sudden it was just like my phone was still kind of blowing up. You know, he's sending me like messages and messages and messages of garbage, pulling from other people's careers. You know, there's bad people in every job. There's bad people doing this, and just like, okay, that's like not the point though, because like they don't have a gun. So I'm not gonna cry again. I'm not gonna cry again. No, I cried a lot. I might no. Continue blowing up my phone. I left it. And then he would send me these messages that were just like, oh, you know, 30 minutes you haven't responded. Oh, it's been 2 hours, you haven't responded. I win. I win. That's not how that works. And then so this morning, woke up, I'm still getting messages. Like, I can't even explain to you how many stupid messages I have. Decided I'm gonna send one full, very detailed, long, it's gonna be a novel, but completely all of my points. I'm going to counter his points. I'm going to include as much information as I can. And then at the end, I'm done. I'm done with the conversation. That's it. I am no longer in this conversation. If you can't get any of this, that's really unfortunate. I hope you change your mind, but I no longer want to continue this conversation. Me exiting it does not mean you win. It means I need to distance myself from you for my mental health. And I was like, if you feel the need to continue the conversation, go to the fucking mirror and argue with yourself, because I'm not in it anymore. I'm gone. And he just kept on going and going and going. And I was just like, what is happening? And the more he said stuff, the more it was just like this toxic masculinity spewing out of him. And I was just like, I don't owe you my time because you're my family. I don't owe you an explanation anymore, an unnecessary explanation at this point, because I'm your family. I don't owe you fuck all. You're being harmful, toxic, mean, belligerent, angry, aggressive, like endless kind of stuff. I had never experienced that person this way. This is definitely one of the points where I cried a lot in the video. And I'm proud of me. You should be proud of you for trying to do better and be better, and not letting toxic people in your life. And even if it's not about something like this, if it's about anything, if someone is toxic to you in your life and you cut them out, I'm so proud of you, because that can be really, really hard. I'm not interested in toxic masculinity. I'm not interested in being guilted into having a conversation with somebody because they're a man, because I owe them anything, because they're my family. You do not have power over me. You don't have power over my time and attention. I don't owe you anything. You, viewer here, you don't owe anybody anything. It does not have to be about this specific issue. It does not have to be about racism. You know, it could be your boss at work. It could be your friend, your family. It could be your partner, anything. So like when it comes to sexism, racism, politics, sexual abuse, anything like that, anybody who, you know, a friend who expects everything from you and doesn't give anything in return or anything like that, those toxic relationships in your life, I'm here to tell you right now, not sobbing anymore. I might show a few clips of the original video that I made and add a few things in here. So if I am emotional in anything, it's probably from that one, because I feel like a whole new strong woman right now. So I don't think I'm gonna get emotional in this one. You don't owe anybody anything. And if you are struggling right now with a relationship in your life that is like that, cut it. You don't deserve it. You do not have to put up with it. I am so disappointed in this person. Just because somebody is your family doesn't mean they can't be toxic. I called my other family members and I told them, I was just like, this is what happened and I'm out. You can do whatever you want, but I'm done with that relationship. I feel very, very relieved. It's really, really, really hard to be in a situation like that. So if you are going through this and you feel alone or scared or anything, one, reach out, please, to me. I'm here for you. You were so strong. And if you are somebody who is struggling right now or is scared or is afraid of losing multiple people in your life or whatever, I'm here for you. Please reach out. So mentally and emotionally drained. I don't think I can put mascara on because I think I'm gonna keep on crying and my waterproof one is missing. Between yesterday and today was just like, that was just one thing, and then on top of it, I've just been struggling mentally and physically since my cyst rupture, since I've been more like bloated, my hormones have been all over the place. I'm gaining and losing and gaining weight, like kind of all over, and I don't feel good about really anything. And I've been like just back and forth with like my body and how I'm treating my body and how my body is treating me. Physically though, since my cyst rupture, yeah, I'm just like I'm not feeling good. I feel hormonal, I feel imbalanced, I feel unhealthy, I feel just deteriorated and emotional and physically just like not up to par. I don't feel as strong. I saw this photo that somebody posted and it was different lighting, different situations, whatever, but it was like one person's butt in multiple photos, and in some of the photos it looked flawless, and then in others, you know, there was cellulite and just stuff like that. And I messaged the person who posted it, and she suffers from endometriosis, and we had just a long discussion about how it's so hard to just always remember to be kind to your body and to be mentally positive towards it, and struggling with body image and perfect people on the internet and idolizing them, and this ideology of how you're supposed to look, and if you don't, are you even beautiful? Are you even sexy? Are you attractive? Like, are you worthy of whatever? I don't even know. I like to think that in regard to this, I'm a very strong-minded person, and I do keep my head far away from that narrative a lot of the time, and then other times I definitely succumb to it. There are times where it's all so hateful. Whenever I do that, I get to a point of more clarity and I ask myself, would I ever say those things to my best friend? And the answer is fuck no. And if I wouldn't say those things to my best friend, why would I say them to myself? You are stuck with you forever. You need to be your own best friend. That is something that's been really hard, and struggling with an invisible illness, I guess, and the toll that it takes. I was like crying last night talking to this girl about what we've both gone through and the surgeries and your body changing afterwards. You know, you look like you're 6 months pregnant without being pregnant, and you know, your body is in pain, and then your hormones are everywhere, so you're depressed and you're anxious and you're sad all the time, and it takes months and months of recovery, the depression that takes over, and then the year it took me specifically to come back from it, to rebuild myself, the strength that I had, my body, my relationship emotionally with my body. Yesterday, I just had a bad day. I had a bad day yesterday, and then I talked with this amazing girl who completely got it, and I didn't feel isolated. I didn't feel like I was the only one who had felt these things, or that I didn't even know if other people had the same experiences with the same health problems, if they had the same experiences physically, or if it was different, or like I didn't know if anybody else felt depressed afterwards, or if they felt whatever. But like having PTSD from like a trauma on your body like that, and your hormones and your emotions and everything being all over the place, and you don't feel in control of anything, and you can't get up and fix the problems, you know, even if you are looking at your body and you're like, oh my god, I'm so swollen, I'm so this and I'm so that, like different than I normally do. Or if you're saying hateful things to yourself about your body and you're like, well, I can't go to the gym because I'm too weak, I'm too much in pain, I can't do these things. Just like talking to somebody who totally got it and had gone through the exact same things and had her own struggles and stuff, and I sat there and I was like crying and I was talking to her and I was just like, I am so proud of you. You are a warrior. You are so strong to get through a physical trauma that completely destroyed your mental health, and then to get back to being a person again, only to be waiting for the next time it happens when your health and your illness does something to you again, and you just have to start all over. It's like a time bomb. You're just waiting for something to blow up in your body and to take over again and everything. And I mean, there's all sorts of illnesses and stuff out there, but this pertains to me, and it pertained to her, and it pertains to so many women out there who suffer from PCOS and from endometriosis, and it's a really, really hard thing to just like live with and deal with, especially when you have a more extreme case. And I'm just like so proud of her for everything that she had gone through. My physical health, my mental health coinciding with that, and then the world around me feeling like it's on fire, and then this other situation that happened or whatever family-wise. I'm just been having a really, really stressful couple days here, and the reason that I even made this video to begin with was because, one, I wanted to talk about it, but I just really needed to take some extra time for me today. And it doesn't matter if you have anything going on or not. I'm telling you to just take some time for you, because you need you time. You need a mental health break. I don't know anybody who doesn't need a mental health break. And if that means cooking yourself a nice breakfast, if it means reading outside in the sun, if it means stretching or doing yoga or going to the gym or watching TV or playing with your pet or going for a walk or anything, if you just need some you time, you need to lay in bed all day, do it. Just do it. Take 4 baths in one day. Do absolutely anything you need to feel like you and a human. Do it. Just do it, because you deserve it. And I'm so proud of everybody out there and is trying so hard. And mental health is such a hard thing, and it's so different for everybody. Fuck toxic relationships, fuck invisible illnesses, fuck COVID, fuck racism, fuck the police. Fuck everything. Take some you time. Recenter yourself, because you're so strong. I'm so strong. You're so strong. And you can do it. And it's okay to be overwhelmed. Just like cry it out. Say fuck them. Fuck them all.